Hey YouTube, what's up? I got a massive headache. That's why I'm making this video. That's not why I'm really making the video. This is like my 5th video today. I made like 5 videos today, so I don't know what it is. I'm making a bunch of YouTube videos and there's this guy in his car next to me. Basically, when it comes to working for Amazon, sometimes people take their breaks in their car. Sometimes they take their breaks in the break room and they eat. Sometimes people eat, sometimes people don't eat. I don't have any food right now. I'm not gonna spend $2 on a complete cookie. That's like the cheapest and most worthwhile thing to buy from the Amazon break room right now. But yeah, I'm just in my car. Gonna make a quick video on my thoughts on things and whatnot. I feel this is what I've been always thinking about for like years, ever since it happened. Ever since COVID happened, I feel like there's been this massive change, and it wasn't just me. It's hard to describe, it's hard to put into words, but it could be just me, maybe it's not. I've heard people say the same things as me, but I feel like people have changed since COVID. I don't know, maybe, I know before COVID happened, again, I worked at I worked at Amazon. It was $10 an hour. It was on 8, and it was the same type of stuff I'm doing, but I had a lot more energy back then, and I'll talk about that later. But I wore glasses back then. I didn't do any experiments on my body with antidepressant studies. I was a lot healthier back then, and that was before I went on this 8-month trip somewhere. I can't say in this video because I'm gonna make it a totally different video. But yeah, I had a lot more energy, I had a lot more drive. But of course I was misguided. I was misguided in a lot of things, and I was misguided all along the way of my life, basically. And now I have to deal with all these issues now that I'm my age, and there's a lot of couldas and shouldas regarding what I go through now, with my health, with my situation, with my car, and I don't even have the energy or the health to just carry on, because okay, this is what this video really is about. Life doesn't feel fun anymore, man. And it could just be this whole new the drug I tested, so basically I was a guinea pig at one point in my life. The drug I tested, the guys, the doctor said it was totally fine. The people that were offering the study, they said this drug was totally fine, but when you couple all the things I was going through at the time, my caffeine addiction, staying up late, not taking care of myself at all, it just becomes a disaster in your mind. And I have LASIK right now, and my eyes, they do this weird thing. My eye vision isn't even good at all now, because I've been looking at my smart screen for years on end, and I'm not really exercising my eyes. I'm not taking care of it. I didn't take care of it that much when I first had LASIK, because I was working at Amazon, in a factory. So I was basically rubbing onto it and shit. So it's so basically I'm dealing with a lot of problems, but the main thing I want to address is I'm dealing with loneliness, and I feel it's this shame that comes with even having to admit that, because imagine what I feel is that if someone were to hear me say that, they would make fun of me. And it's I just feel like I just can't connect with people nowadays. Sometimes I do talk to people, but I feel like I'm not their friend in a way, and I don't feel like I have any real people, real friends to be there for me, that I can rely on, real human living people. I feel like everyone just kind of backed into a corner, and everyone else is just living on an island. And I'm part of that. Oh, there's a cat right there. But yeah, that's just what I think. I don't have a family of my own. I have the family I've grown up with, but they've all changed. They've all changed on me. They've all become narcissists. That's partly why I left, and partly why I go through all the things I go through. And sadly, that's probably why I made all the mistakes I made. The antidepressant study was to cure a lot of the things I was going through at the time. And I now realize, like, with my health pointing this metaphorical gun to my head, that a lot of things I went through in my life weren't even my fault. And like, I wasn't even the problem. But we'll get into all that later. When I make a video about me talking about how I was brought up, my family. But people have changed. I need to find my tribe. It's kind of my whole goal. I want to, like, have, like, real friends and real close people, that aren't narcissists, and that actually have my best interests in mind, and I can actually be open and vulnerable with. So basically, I'm just looking for, like, real friends right now. Like, I want to find my tribe. But yeah, basically, I feel like I have a metaphorical gun pointed to my head, and that's why I've, like, rethought a lot of things and how I've been going about my life, including, I've always thought this way. I feel like I kind of had the answers before I even began my adult life, but I was always put in survival mode, because, my whole household, dude, my mom, man. So I was always put in survival mode, and that didn't help me, like, put my energy into things that actually mattered, But now that's changing. That's changing now. Now that I do have these health problems, this health scare, that's, like, probably gonna take me out of the game. I don't know. I want to, like, live this life to the fullest, man. People nowadays, man. They're too David Goggins, man. They're too suicidal. It goes for Christians and non-Christians, man. Everyone's always thinking about what happens when we die, and it's like, well, can we all just enjoy this life we have now? Like, I'm a Christian. I swear to God, I am a Christian. But I don't want to think too much about my own demise. Seriously. I don't want to think too much about death, and I want to stop having these existential thoughts. I feel like I kind of got these existential thoughts when I became more religious. So yeah, I'm not being fake right now. Like, I have a Jesus shirt right now. It's Jesus. Yeah. But I feel like everyone just wants to freaking die, dude. I hate that, man. Like, I don't want to think too much about my own demise. I hate when it's even brought up, man. It's like I was never made to. I never got the chance to enjoy my life. I was never told that I had my whole life ahead of me, and I made all these stupid mistakes. And it's like, yeah, I just want to enjoy my life, and I just want to feel like I have my life ahead of me, and believe that I have my whole life ahead of me, and that, that's my goal. I'm just gonna, if I want to be different, man, I'm gonna be different in the sense that I'm gonna enjoy this, and I'm not gonna be miserable like everyone else who just wants to just do and die, in a David Goggins way. I know I'm kind of like saying David Goggins as, like, an insult, but I love David Goggins. I love his message of, like, squeezing the most out of your life. But I feel like I'm talking about the way, like, he's done a lot of extreme things, and I mean, like, David Goggins in a way that we, like, in a self-neglect kind of way. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video right there. Lunch probably is almost over. I don't know what, I have a watch right here. It's 11:40, so yeah, I clocked back in like at 11:47, so I'm gonna put this away. Thank you guys for watching. Gonna be my last video. Maybe when I get home I'll make another video. But yeah, night shift, man. I can't do it. But if I do get transferred, maybe this will be the last time that I grind, and then I'll move out, and that'll be it for me, living in this town. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.